Well, welcome back to See, Hear, Love. We hope your week is going really well. And we're so glad that you joined us on Wisdom Wednesday, one of our favorite days of the week. And we have a very special guest with us, the co-founder of the charity Live Different. She's an author, international speaker, and she's the founder of Brave Souls. As you can see on the table, a social enterprise based in the DR, the Dominican Republic, where they make handmade shoes, where the soles of the shoes are made with recycled tires. Show it there, Cheryl. Look at that. That's amazing. Now, I love this, and we're going to get to this in a second, but I'm going to talk to Cheryl and Abby, my fantastic hosts.
Yes.
Do you remember back in season 1 when we had our favorite shoes? Remember that moment?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
One of the best.
How could we forget? You mean it was
Melinda's
your shoes and
her closet.
No, but what shoes did you bring? Because I'm going to roll up some B-roll behind us and some pictures. But remember your shoes?
Honey, I brought my Emerald City, Wizard of Oz, click 3 times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's no place like home shoes.
Yeah, I remember that. It was like full diva glam.
Yeah.
And then Abby comes in. It's like, here, Cheryl. Bah! And then Abby's like,
What did I bring?
a practical wedding working shoe.
Yes.
Did I?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and you were talking about all the stuff you do for weddings.
Here's the image of it, yeah. And it was very practical. And then I think Joanna brought running
shoes.
Of course.
So, Joanna.
And then I brought, I think, like 50 pairs of because I couldn't decide.
So, Melinda.
Yeah.
Yes.
So because the reason why I say that is because we have a love of shoes.
Yes.
These girls around the table.
We have a love, and some of us
do.
have a little bit more.
Were you going like this towards me?
More of an addiction to shoes.
Yeah, but there's something about a shoe that makes a woman. I'm just saying, there is something about a shoe that it's like, I know what kind of woman she is by the shoes she was wearing.
I've seen a sign that says Cinderella is proof that a new pair of shoes can change your world.
Oh, that's
It's so true. I need to.
That's biblical somewhere. I know that's somewhere hidden away in some verse in the Bible somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, I bring that up, Christal, because now you know you're in the company of great women who love shoes and will really appreciate what you have done here.
Yeah, fantastic.
The other thing that we love too is, we see her love sort of that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, Cheryl, you've done lots of startups.
It's incredible. It's funny, just this morning driving in, I was speaking to my best friend and I was saying, it's amazing when, God downloads an idea, you have the bravery to walk it by faith, see it executed, lots of sacrifices, lots of stories and moments that you just are like white flagging, I'm sure you can tell us. But then to see and feel and touch and see the finished work, it's amazing, the journey. So it's the story behind the product too.
Yeah.
And I know there's a huge story behind these shoes.
There is.
Yeah, so let's hear, because I think this whole idea of this recycled tire is a great story in itself. So how did you start? I mean, first of all, are you entrepreneurial naturally? Have you always been like that?
I am hopelessly entrepreneurial.
Okay.
I have tried. It's like one of those things where you try life on the other side, and it's like I just can't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when you say life on the other side, more corporate, 9 to 5?
Yeah,
or?
more corporate. Let's find something stable that's going to make your mom sleep at night. But no, I am hopelessly entrepreneurial, and I am a social entrepreneur at the core of who I am. I can't separate those two things. On our site, we actually, on our women's section, we always say that a great pair of shoes is like a best friend. They have your back. They never let you down. You never tell you how, then you never feel fat or have a bad hair day in them. They just love you for who you are. And that is, that's why I think we love shoes, right? Shoes just...
See? That's why I love them. They're like my best friend, Cheryl.
They got your back,
Got your back, girl.
I love that. That's funny.
Yeah. So I have worked in, it's in the most unlikely of places, but I, for many years, have worked with a community of people in Dominican Republic at a garbage dump.
Okay.
And they are largely stateless, and we work with them to help them collect recyclables to help increase their daily income with people. And that place has truthfully given me the ultimate love of my life, and that's my daughter. That's how I met her, was from that place. After her birth mother passed away suddenly, I started an adoption process. So it's always had, and I always, all over the world, have gone to garbage dumps and met people there. And crazy thing, little factoid for you, is there is this on a small estimate is in the world. There's up to 70 million people that live, work, and often live right next to or in garbage dumps around the world.
Wow.
Wow.
So wait, 70 million?
70 million, twice the population of Canada.
Of Canada.
Basically.
Wow. Can you imagine Canada as a garbage dump?
Yeah.
And then add another what?
And then add another Canada.
Another
Add another
Canada on top
Canada.
of that. All of us.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
So this
overwhelming.
is a part of my life and the fabric of my worldview, really.
Right.
And always there has been piles of tires in these garbage dumps, and so I would look at these tires, and first of all, they're very toxic. That in the developing world, often the only way to deal with them is to burn them, which is heartbreaking in and of
Yes,
itself.
I've
And
seen that,
the
yeah.
toxicity, people that I love and care about and have known now, who are part of my life story, are inhaling this. They're, they're. But the other hidden terror of tires is that tires, when they're lying around, they hold on to water. And that water becomes breeding grounds for mosquitoes. And mosquitoes carry deadly diseases. Dengue, a lot of things. Even here in Canada and in the U.S., Blue Nile, what is it
West
called?
Nile.
West Nile.
Yeah.
So it's their tires are, after they're kind of forgotten, and it's just like many things, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. This has bothered me for a long time. And I was walking out of my door one day of my apartment, and I live in a courtyard in Dominican Republic, and across the courtyard from me, my neighbor walked out at the same time, and she was wearing this cute little pair of shoes. And they were kind of like this style, like
the
kind of
Gladiator?
similar, yeah, kind of similar to this. And she walked out, I was like, and, from one girl to another, right? I'm like, hey,
Of course.
Anna, I love your shoes.
Of
And
course.
she's like, and of course, the next thing when someone says I love your shoes is
Where
Where
did you
get them?
See,
Right?
yes.
And so then we started talking, and so I'm like, can I see one? And so she actually unlaced it and took it off, and I'm holding up this shoe,
Like
and then so
this?
I'm literally holding up this shoe like this, and I look at it, and I'm just looking at the bottom, and it didn't have a tire bottom, it's just a regular bottom. And I said, where did you get them? And she said, well, she just come back from Cuba. She said, I bought them in Cuba, and she said, I bought them from a guy who was, he was making them on the side of the road. And I'm like, it's so well done. And I'm holding it, and it was that moment where the thought came from nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like
God spoke.
Yeah, it
yes.
was like,
I'm like,
boom.
why have I never thought of this before? So the next day, I called up this gentleman
Wow.
who I went trekking. It was like an hour away to this gentleman that I knew had a leather working shop. A friend of mine had been doing some business with him, and I didn't know if he made shoes. I knew he made beautiful bags. And so I go to this shop, and I walk in, and so I'm carrying this picture on my phone of this shoe. And I was like,
Of
what do
her
you think
shoe?
of her shoe? I said, I would like to start doing something like this. Do you think we could do something like this, only tire bottoms? And he's like, I can't even do it. He lifted one eyebrow, and he's like, what? Because
Tire bottoms.
I think he thought I was like being all beatniky. I'm like, let's just roll out the tire and start stamping out the bottoms of shoes, right?
Right,
And he's
right.
like, I don't think that'll work. And he looks around at his shop, and he's only got just these few little machines. He's like, we can't sew tires onto shoes. And I said, no, but there's got to be a way to do it, because I know that people have done it around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
and
that's what a creative idea. Like I
Yeah,
would have never.
yeah, it's brilliant.
But you know what I think? I think a lot of us get these moments of creativity, and sometimes we miss it.
Yeah.
Like there are times
Right.
where I have seen something. Like have you, Abby, where it's like
Oh, my
I've been in a
gosh.
situation, saw something, thought fleeting moment, but never acted upon
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
you know what? For me, it's the I don't know how.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to
yeah,
get
yeah.
from here,
Yeah.
because I have a lot of them, but I don't know how to get
Yeah.
from here to
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm most inspired by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think that's really neat.
as many people who work in a lot of the world will tell you, we started WhatsApping. And so he sent me a picture. 3 days later, he's like, I found somebody, and there was this Haitian gentleman down the street who knew how to cut tires. And so he sent me a picture of this, and I almost fell over because he sent me a picture of something that was a similar shoe to this one.
So somebody was already doing the cutting of the sole?
No,
Or no,
we
just-
went to him. He went
just
to him and he
cut
said, "What do you think? Could you try this?" So of course, the first one, I was, it was too thick and the shoe didn't bend,
Right.
so I knew it wouldn't work. But we just kept going back and forth, back and forth. You
That's the tire. You can actually see the tire.
Yeah, you can
That's
see-
So
amazing.
great.
yeah. And
Crazy.
so we.
I want to hold
We,
these
we
up
just
for a
kept
bit.
we just kept working at it, refining it, and trying on things. But here's the honest truth about Brave Souls. I started this whole company with $250.
Come on.
Come on.
Now we're
kid you not.
talking.
$250 to get it
I'm
started.
a single mom, and I had a very difficult couple years where I didn't know how I was going to even put food on my table.
Wow.
And I'd gone out for dinner with a friend of mine, and I got up to use the washroom, and I came back, and he reached over and he grabbed my hand, and he put something in my hand, and he said, I really feel like you need this more than me. And I was like, okay. And I opened up my hand, and there was $1,000 in my hand, and so I was blown away. It did help me pay my rent that month, but I set aside $250 because I just finished having the WhatsApping conversation with the gentleman earlier that week, and I'm like, it is now or never, Christal, just do it. And so what I did.
Okay, but wait a second. So I mean, you say it so easily. Like, honestly though, you're like, oh yeah, that. But for a lot of women, there's a courage part and a fear part that mixes in to just say, let's do it. You know, and those that are Christian, and you're like, I've got the Holy Spirit, and I've got this fierceness in it, but it's still.
You think you're crazy?
Yeah, things still hold us back.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
So like,
100%.
what is it? Because I think, you know, as we look at our own faith.
It's
Right?
It's a certain type of mindset, and it's a certain type of heart. You need to have a courageous heart, and if you don't have it, pray for it. Pray
Yeah,
for a courageous
exactly.
heart. My friends always, you know, the people that know me say that Cheryl leaps first and then like waits for the approval later. Like God's like, okay, I want to call you to do a show or a television or film, or I'm like, yeah, I'm gone. They're like, oh, okay, angels. You know,
Go, right.
But I just have proven that I've proven God, and you've proven God, and God is
that's
faithful.
good.
Once He catches you, then it's like, He catches me.
You know,
Yeah.
that's
Then you
such a good
jump
point,
every
'cause
time.
I think
Every
a lot
time.
of us are so scared or want everything in
It's
place
that first
before
leap.
we do
Totally.
it.
It's
But
that
before we do
first-
everything's got to be
first leap.
perfect
Yeah,
before
right.
we do it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's the way of like
just
following
do
Jesus.
it.
It's just like go.
Right.
I know that sounds for like lots of our older parents and people. It's like, well, that's really risky. But I think life has to be the risk. This
right.
is your one kind of shot.
Yeah.
Go for it. What do you say?
I'm in this season of, I feel the Lord's calling me to certain things, but then the details aren't clear.
Yeah.
The how, the provision, the how will I make ends meet.
Yeah.
But I've just kind of had this recent revelation where it's like, you know, if God's calling me to something, if I'm clear on that, it's different. If you're like, well, I think He is, but if you're clear on what He's calling you to, it's trust. It's trust
There's
that
trust.
He's got you,
Yeah.
right?
I always say if He's called you
yeah.
to it, He'll guide you through
Right,
it.
and so
And the
but
guiding is the
that's where
confirmation as the
courage-
doors
Yeah.
are opening and the people are
Yeah.
connecting.
Yeah.
So it's trust and
yeah. It also helps if somebody comes and gives you $1,000.
right. Sure,
that's part of that
right?
confirmation.
Exactly.
But
Right.
you know what?
Helps.
There was 101 other places that I could have put that money in my life.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Wow.
so
Wow.
I have to say that what I remind myself of is that, you know what, you've been here before. You know this. You've proven this, like what you said. You've proven this to be true in your life.
Yeah.
And so that's what it was. And I think also the other thing is everything is figure-outable. No,
Love
like,
that.
I love
you know,
figure
everything is
outable.
figure-outable.
We're gonna flash it on the screen. Figure outable.
You- Hashtag.
love it.
You can figure this out, but just calm yourself down, get back to that place, and remember that everything starts somewhere. So don't freak yourself out
Wow.
over 10 steps down.
I have to ask you a question.
Yes.
starts
Because
somewhere.
I just like to go with the flow. There is a woman watching this right now
Yeah.
who has had an idea for years, has been pregnant with a
Yeah.
baby,
Yeah.
that vision,
Yeah.
and is really struggling on that first leap.
Yeah.
What can you tell her?
Yeah.
Everything is figure-outable. But here's what I think truthfully is, what is the first thing you can do? Do it. What's the next thing you can do? And I liken it to, I run on the beach barefoot. And when I'm running on the beach barefoot, I have to be careful because I got to be watching where I'm going, but I got to be looking in front of me at the same time because glass and things like
shells
that come
and
up.
things, yeah.
So you're cognizant of the fact that there's always a next step, but you know where you want to go. There's a horizon, but there's always a next step that you're going to take. And the truth is that wisdom is there. Wisdom is not eluding you, it's yours.
That's good.
So just take the
Take
first
it.
step.
Good.
Here's where you want to go.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's how we launched the show, how we did
Right.
the show. I mean,
was
when I
gonna
was
say.
connecting you guys, were like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. I just want to do a web
From
show.
an idea
Right.
to
An idea, and you
Right.
just do it. And I'm telling you, all along the way, I have no idea. Like you just like, let's try this, let's do this. We've tweaked things, but if somebody said map it out exactly how it's going to look, I really couldn't.
Right.
And
right?
the
That's
truth
where
of the
God
matter is
leads.
that you
Yeah.
don't know where you're
Right.
going, and you
Right.
still don't. But God, is He not? He called you to it, and is He not guiding you?
Right.
He is, absolutely.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And then this is what He did for you, because look, now you've got
Look at these.
a whole company,
I'm in love with these.
right?
Yeah.
You've got a whole
I
company
just
that's
had a
doing
niece.
this.
I'm going to
Yeah.
be buying
So
her some.
when you buy this, who does it help? What does it
So
look like?
we are generating we generate employment, and 15% of our sales goes to our foundation that works helping to create equitable opportunities and adult education for the people that
Amazing.
work in the garbage dumps.
so
That's
good.
amazing. I love that.
I'm wearing a pair.
Oh, yeah.
And I love them. And guys, they come with the cutest little keychain.
They do.
Do you see
I
that?
know, it's amazing.
I love keychains. So
I know that we have a button on our website
Yeah.
where you can just click and
Yeah.
buy. And I think we all should do that, because now I'm like, I like that, I like this.
Supporting a great cause.
It is. And it's also, I love that getting tires out of the streets
yeah.
and less mosquitoes and less what is it?
Toxicity.
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 Yep, a lot of that gone.
Too.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Christal, I know that you're wearing a pair as well.
I am. They're great.
they're really comfortable.
That's our little commercial.
They may not be going home with her.
Thanks again, Christal. Thanks, Joan Abby,
Of course.
for a great Wednesday. And to our viewers, thanks for joining us this Wednesday. We hope you were inspired by the work of Christal and her team at Brave Souls. Make sure you go and buy some. For more on her, to read our blog post, to ask questions on anything we talked about, if you need prayer, please connect with us on our website, seehearlove.com. And also don't forget to check out our really fun posts on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And so from all of us here at See Hear Love, we just want to remind you that you are seen, you are heard, and deeply loved by God. Bye-bye.
Bye.